Hello, everybody, and welcome back to There's a First Time for Everything with your host, yours truly, Bill Blank. And you will notice the green screen behind me is a picture of all of our good friend John Bush when he was doing a high school play with hair. He's been recording Craig's News Live from my studio and he left it here. So I took a picture of it and put it on my green screen. So that's my background tonight. And Bush will be a guest soon. Today's guest is one of the most unique people that I have ever met in this business. I mean, I have never met someone with more energy and more enthusiasm with just, it seems like life itself, but I've always looked at him as just a ray of light in the business. He just exudes light and happiness and inclusiveness. And he's into so many unique things that you wouldn't even think about being on people's radar. But this dude is so passionate and into so many things that you just wouldn't even think about were things to begin with, kind of a lot of the time. And the first time I met this guy, it was at the old Funny Bone in Urbandale with the blue screen, and I was opening for him. And I couldn't believe, I mean, this dude was all over the place energy. Why? I mean, his energy is so high all the time. And just the way he got into the crowd, I was very young when I met him, and I was so just enamored with just how, I don't know, people are just drawn to him. You find yourself just being drawn in by his energy and enthusiasm. And I also knew that it was an energy and enthusiasm that I would never fucking match, and I shouldn't try. And I remember being on a Last Comic Standing audition several years ago, and I saw the lineup for the night, and BT's name was one of the first names I saw, and I just instantly was like, I don't even belong here at all. It was just a list full of monsters. Couple of guests I've had. But anyway, without further ado, we got to bring in my buddy BT. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, man? Thank you for having me, man. I've tried to get a light. Hopefully, it will be better, but I think I'm just gonna turn it off because I think it casts like a weird shadow, like a villain. So I think it's better.
Hey, I think you look better like that. I think you're right.
Yeah, but I got my trusty Himalayan light. It's supposed to be good for since I'm all weird and all like, hey man, Zen, bro. Hey, come on, man, fucking spirits, bro. Hey, meat, man. Those are animals, and they feel because they have souls, bro. Himalayan light, and when you sleep, bro, good ions in the air, bro. So I got my Himalayan light, and I sleep with this because you didn't know this, but I'm afraid of the dark. So this is like a night light for me, and it's also supposed to be good for you. So I'm a Himalayan salt lamp. So that's what it is. Yeah.
That was so much.
Seriously,
that was so much about the
I
fucking lamp.
I sleep with that all night long. Like I said, I'm afraid of the dark.
Are you for real?
Yeah, so I have two Himalayan lights next to my bed. So it actually looks even more like creepier. If you go in my room, hold on. The other one's like right there. Yeah, the other one's right there, and this one right here. Wait, that's that, and then the other one's over there. So when you come in, and all the lights are out, it looks like kind of like the bed, like it's like the bed in Friday the 13th. When you're like, oh shit, like something about to happen, and so it casts like this weird, like ambient light when you walk in my room. Like, oh man, fucking weird. But it's good for me though. It's good for me. So yeah.
So you basically sleep with your room fully lit.
Yeah, because I'm afraid of I don't like the dark, man. I do not like the dark. I do not like the dark at all.
Well, let's figure out where that comes from. So what happened? Show me on the doll what happened in the dark. When you were 7.
I love it. Man, you know what? I don't know where that came from. Maybe you know what? Maybe because I watched. I think we grew up in like. How old are you?
42.
Okay, we kind of grew up in this about that. When the horror movies were all pretty much gore. I mean, there were some that teased you like mentally, but for the most part,
you didn't have the jump scares like you have more now in that type of shit.
But let me tell you something, and I'm almost ashamed to say this, but I didn't see the original Halloween until like 2 years ago. Motherfucker, that holds up, bro. When that scene when she's like, and she thinks she killed him, and he comes up like this, and he comes up like, man, motherfucker, let me tell you something, dude. When I knew I was coming, and the way he stood up like this, I was like, it gives me chills talking about it now. And I think because of that and what the Dark does, I think that's where it stemmed from. You know what I mean? And that was when the Dark was fucking scary.
Yeah.
Bro. So,
and then the Undertaker made a career out of it.
You know what? I never watched that shit, so I don't even know. I mean, I know who he is, but
I thought you liked wrestling.
But not professional. No.
You like regular. You like real wrestling.
Real, where you like, and he's got a 2-on-1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're into like the Greco-Roman and the Olympics and all that.
And when the Hawkeyes wrestle the Cyclones, and it's like, and Carr gets 2, and Iowa State goes ahead. What's Gable gonna do? That kind of shit. Yeah.
That doesn't happen though. Iowa State doesn't ever take the lead.
Iowa State has a junior world champion, and
maybe if Iowa State won the first match, they'd be in the lead after that match. But then the rest of the night, it's just.
Hey, let me tell you something. Spencer motherfucking Lee, bro. For Iowa, the Hawkeyes, Spencer Lee is a fucking animal. I don't want to meet that kid on the streets. That kid's vicious.
Well, the crazy thing for me about wrestlers is you'll watch them like. I never watch wrestling on TV. I've been to wrestling meets several times and stuff. And as big of a Hawkeye fan as I am, I'm proud of them, but I never watch anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then you finally do. And, you watch the match and it's like, the 130 pounders and they're just ripped to shit, and you're just like, man, these guys are tough, whatever. And then you see them in person and you see that the dude's like 5'5", and you're like, oh my God, if I got into an argument with him at the bar, I would try to whoop his ass. I wouldn't be even the least bit even thinking about anything. I'd just be like, what, you little motherfucker? Like, I'd try to do like little brother fucking hold his head and shit.
Yep.
Like, I'd be doing all that, and then he would just take me down and tie me in a fucking knot. And I'd be embarrassed for the rest of my life.
And beat the shit out of you. And if you did do anything, his heavyweight is going to be around there somewhere. And then and you're done. That's how they roll. The 130 pound, that's how they roll. For some reason, the heavyweights and little guys get along. You know what I mean? And
because they're probably like, hey, we fight in weight classes for a reason. Yeah. You fucking pussy. Why are you going after the 5'5" guy?
Exactly. And then you're done. And and nothing you could do about it, or your friends. They just gotta watch you.
Oh, hell no.
They gotta watch you take that L like, oh, it's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing with wrestling, you don't take it in competition. You don't take it to the level where you snap the dude's arm or some shit. Well, are you fucking flossing on on live YouTube right now?
Yeah, I had to floss, man. I think my teeth look bad. Yeah. Gotta floss. Yeah. Anyway,
I gotta have dude, your teeth are perfect. That's why you floss.
Well, I'm trying to get an acting career. What's funny? In comedy, you get lost in comedy. You've been doing comedy, man, about 20 years, 30?
20 years, yeah.
Okay, so you know how it is, man. I don't care what anybody says. You get fucking lost. Because, it's like, it's like you have your ups and downs. Because when you first, I call it the stripper syndrome. When you first start out, it's so much fucking fun. You don't care. You're getting peanuts, but you're traveling. You're doing what you want to do. And, you're coming up a little bit like, hey, the headliners are going, hey, man, how about you open up for me to here? Okay, yeah. And then, you get a feature date and everything's going good. And then you reach that one point where you kind of stall a little bit or you miss an opportunity here and there. And then it's like a stripper. All of a sudden, you realize you're not getting the table dances anymore. And they're going to see this one dancer. And you go, what does she got that I don't have? Like, why the fuck does everybody think she's better than me? But my titties are natural. Hers are fake. And then it's like you go, okay. And then you find your footing again. If you stay in it long enough, you find your footing again. At least I hope, you go, okay. And you zero in like, boom. And you find you find your lane, basically. Like if it's a podcast or, hey, I'm the comedian that talks about sports. And that's going to be my main avenue. And you might get lucky and get a sports show or it's based off that, kind of like the Sklar Brothers, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so you find your footing if you stay in long enough. And I get it with some people how they like when it's not going, and I don't blame them when it's not going like they wanted it to, and they go, "Fuck, I'm getting out," because there's
Mhm.
no, we ain't got no fucking dental plan. We got
Retirement plan, there ain't
we
shit.
got
Yeah.
nothing. So
Mhm.
we're in
That's
the
why
same
it just
boat.
ended my second marriage.
Yeah.
These bitches our age want fucking security.
Hey, I don't blame them, but you know what I mean. I mean, in a way, I mean, because
I
honestly,
don't blame. I really don't blame them, honestly. But it's not like they didn't know who they were marrying either.
but in a way, I mean, here's the thing: the way the world is now, and maybe age gives us better perspective. But I think it's because I think now though I look at it different. Like I don't look at women like who marry for security different now than I used to. Like used to be like you were 20s, you go, oh, she only married him for that motherfucking money. Oh, gold digging ass bitch. But you got to think about it on their side. Okay, she looks good. She realizes, hey man, I'm not gonna get paid as much as a man. Here I am looking good. Okay. And then he's gonna probably drop me for a hotter, younger chick eventually in life. Anyway, why not get this money? Why not get this security? So I don't look at him that bad like anymore like I used to. You know what I mean? I really don't. I realize how the game is played. Once you realize how the game is done, how the game is worked, how the game is played, then you take a different perspective on chicks like that. I get it. I mean, I wouldn't marry him. If I made money, I wouldn't marry him, but I'd be like, listen, here's the deal, blah blah. I fly you here, fly you there, but then that's when they probably try to blackmail you. But I get where they're coming from, but yeah,
Yeah.
but if I got
Well, I didn't have it like that.
if I
Like
go
yeah,
ahead.
my situation was she's fine. She doesn't need me for shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what attracted me to her. That was the whole thing.
yeah.
That's what I'm attracted to is women that got their shit together and don't need anything other than just companionship from me because I'm aware that what I do for a living doesn't provide that type of shit.
And
So
all you gotta do is listen. All you gotta
yeah,
do is listen and be a good dude. When she comes home and be like this, and then what happened, baby?
yeah, and that's where I failed.
Yeah,
You
really.
know, no, I got to it just got to the point where there just wasn't much respect for me in the house, and at that point, I started getting angry, and then it just created a fucking perfect storm of shit, and then COVID came, and everybody felt trapped, and just kind of you know how. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons. It wasn't something that I wanted by any means,
Yeah,
but it's also something I can't do anything about. And had that not happened, I wouldn't be doing this podcast right now.
yeah,
There's a lot of stuff that I'm doing right now that I wouldn't have done before.
yeah.
So there's those positives. It still
Yep.
sucks, but
Right.
I'm trying to live in the positive places. To do shit like this right here, I'd be getting raked over the coals for because it didn't make me any money.
Yeah, you know what? It's almost like that line in that song by Journey. Love and the music, man, ain't always what it's supposed to be, and that's the truth. I mean, only us know us. I mean, it, only thing that can make it better if she was an entertainer herself, then maybe she would understand. You know what I mean? If she was an entertainer herself, but that would drive you nuts.
Yeah, and that's 100%. I mean, you pretty much nailed it right there. It was 10 years of not ever understanding, and nothing I could do to, it was fine when I worked a lot, but when you had those downtimes, it was miserable. And you know how this business is when you're not famous. I mean, it's at least 60-40 down to up. I mean, you're not. You're like it's almost like a baseball player. If you're hitting 300, you're doing all right, and if you're hitting 400, you're a fucking Hall of Famer.
Dude, you gotta. I mean, yeah, it's like I said, man. You reach that point in your career, then it's like, okay, what am I now? It's like, okay, I'll take this feature date, which is gonna be shitty money. Okay, now do I come up with some kind of saying where I can sell a T-shirt because nobody's buying CDs anymore? That day is done. I mean, you sell a link to an Amazon thing, so maybe you get downloads. I mean, you cross your fingers, but so maybe you have a bumper sticker, or do you get a T-shirt to make the money up, and you're traveling in your car, the wear and tear in your car, hopefully nothing breaks down, and then so you're making, let's say if you're lucky, 500, then like, okay, maybe you can make go on maybe a $800 or $900 one nighter run, but is that even worth it? Because after you pay for gas, is that even worth it? And your sanity. I mean, fuck, man. Once you reach a certain age and doing one nighters, I mean, that's why like people like Steve Sabo. You can say what you want about that motherfucker, man, but he's still, at least till I don't know how long. As far as I knew, he was still hitting it hard. Like he was still doing shit like in fucking North and South Dakota, and like you're going, dude, how do you do that? I mean, it's like at a certain point, I'm just like,
that's the love of the game, dude. That's all it is. It's the love of the game. I mean, look at shit, Jared Dog. You know, my producer right now. That's Jared Dog. He's been going hard like a motherfucker, longer than I have, and
I worked with him in Michigan.
Yeah, and he did it. He did it himself, all the whole time, and he continues to do it himself. And what he's done turned out to be more sustainable. You know, when I was spending all my time trying to get funny bones and improvs and all that, because I thought that was the better work, which work itself it is, you know, but you're relying on other people to book you, and you're going to have a year where you're doing all 15 clubs, and then the next year you might do 2, and then it might be 5 years before you even do 1. So you just don't even know, you know, unless something happens where you get some real heat behind you. And you know, it's just, and so what Jared Dog's done is kind of organically created an audience. I mean, he did what Jeff Foxworthy did at Truck Stops years ago. He's doing the modern version of it.
And God bless the dude. And I mean that. God bless the dude for doing it, because you're right. I mean, to work at an improv, I mean, it's great to work at good clubs, maybe feature for a really big name act, see how it's done, how they do it. But the thing about it is, it's like I don't think they respect. I mean, there's acts, and don't get me wrong. There's your Chad Daniels, there's your Kevin Bozeman's. Who's another Midwest act that's a big name that I mean, those two are the one that from Chicago. I was just talking to Bozeman. The one that opened up for Sebastian Maniscalco. He produced a special.
Yeah,
McGann.
I know exactly. Pat McGann. Yeah.
Okay, you know, God bless those guys, but those are few and far between. It's like they don't really respect. And here's what I never liked about the clubs in the Midwest or whatever. Man, they don't really do us any justice or any favors. Like, I don't know why that Des Moines, Omaha, and Kansas City, they have a triangle they could have worked us. They get a triangle they could have helped us out, where they should get all the club owners to go, hey, man, send that guy here.
Yeah, give him these 3 weeks.
Yeah,
give each guy this 3 weeks.
And have them, you know, to maybe you can get a following in Kansas City, and or one of their comics can get a following in Des Moines. It's right up the fucking pike. You're looking at a 2-hour drive from Kansas City to Des Moines or Kansas City to Omaha, and you know you get a following. You go on Todd and Tyler, and they're broadcasting Wichita. The Wichita people can drive to Kansas City. You can help those Midwest comics, but they don't fucking do it.
And then you end up at the Looney Bin in Wichita, and then you got your following in Wichita. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you can do it, but they don't fucking help us out. I mean, they don't do a goddamn thing, and they want the big names to come in. Everybody sucks their ass, and you're like, you know, it's just frustrating sometimes. I mean,
it's frustrating for the guys like us that just work. We are the blue collar version of comedy on it in its real hierarchy, you know. But the thing is, I don't begrudge the guys that are famous that put butts in the seats, because you and I both know almost every one of them worked their ass off to get there. It's few and far between where. And at the very least, you know, guys like, you know, your Steve-O's and guys like that, at the very least, they worked their ass off doing something else first, you know, and got a following. So, you know, I don't have any like real disdain for guys like that, because they kind of end up respecting the game a little more, you know, and then they actually work on comedy, and they actually try to get better at it.
Yeah,
they're just lucky that they have their own audience right away, so they don't really have to play any games on their way there. Sure. They can just be who they are right away. Sure. You know, we have to play all those games to make sure we get rebooked.
Yep.
And then maybe as time goes on, we get away with a little bit more.
Jeremy Piven, you know, he's now, and so, you know, I mean, how are you gonna get, like, can I get a headline week at the Des Moines Funny Bone? Well, we got Jeremy Piven coming in, or we got this person coming, and hey. Not to the because he did his time in doing a TV movie. I mean, you know what I mean? And God bless the dude. I mean, moved to LA and had the balls to stay out there, because I came back with my tail between my legs. I mean, you know,
almost everybody does. I mean, that's That's why I never went out there, especially in this day and age. It really seems pointless to go out there and just do stand up. I mean, you go out there to maybe try some other shit, but
But you also got to keep your focus, and that's one thing I didn't do. And I mean, because it all boils down. I mean, it sounds that way, but if you talk to a comic long enough who came back from LA who didn't make it or whatever, you talk to them long enough, you find out where they fucked up at.
yeah.
Maybe they weren't focused where they should have been going up 2 or 3 times a night, which you can do in a place like LA. But maybe they went to a club, or they were chasing pussy because they were young. And
that's what I was just getting ready to say. How old were you when you were out there?
I was chasing pussy, and that's what fucked me. Seriously, man. You know what I mean? That's just the truth, bro. It's like I had so many opportunities that I fucked up, and I was like,
yeah, because you are a fucking good-looking, stacked-up dude. Like, I remember that movie Suckers. I saw it and lost my fucking mind. Because I remember the first time I met you, I was emceeing, and I introduced. That was one of your credits when I introduced you.
Yes.
And then I would say, I don't know, 3 years went by, maybe 3-4 years, and I'm sitting in my basement, and I'm just scrolling through the guide, and I see this movie Suckers, and I read what it's about. And I'm like, okay, used car salesman and all this shit. And I'm like, all right, that might be fun, interesting, whatever. I didn't even put together that was the movie you had told me about.
All right.
And I turn it on, and then I see you fucking this bitch in the back seat of a car. Just fucking, yeah. And I'm like, is that fucking BT? Is that fucking BT?
That's fucking BT fucking. BT fucking right there.
Yeah, and you were shirtless, and you're just fucking muscles flexed and fucking. I'm like, dude, how did? Oh,
you want to hear the story on that?
I'd have AIDS if I were you, dude.
You want to hear the story on that?
Yeah, totally.
Like I was okay. I was still road dogging it. Okay, so but I had a good manager, so I was going back and forth to LA because I remember I was on the road. So, and I believe in signs, so I went up at the Improv and he saw me there. So he had me come in and do a read. Okay. I did the read. The address was 1157. Okay. I wrestled at 157. Okay. The name of the production studio was NEO Pictures. I went to junior college to wrestle at NEO A&M. And I was like, I got to get this role. And I be goddamn, when I finished my read, he stood up and clapped. I go, I think I got this. I'm in the middle of nowhere in Washington State. And I get a call that said, you got to move. I said, yes. Okay. So they send me the script. So I know when I had to film, I'm filming for I think 2 weeks, whatever. And this is why I even lived in LA. I was living out of my car. So I was in Denver at Comedy Works. I literally went to Barnes & Noble, got 2 books on acting. So I drove from Denver to LA reading these acting books while I'm driving, reading like this, right? I get to LA, get on the set, and I guess I'm doing okay. I don't know how it goes, but I'm doing okay. So it comes down for the sex scene. So they go, hey, listen, we want you in like a G-string. I said, okay, cool. I ain't got, I'm fucking 20. I'm yoked by then. I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, so you're so yoked. You're fucking Wesley Snipes yoked.
So she's Puerto Rican and black, which is fucking
stop it.
Right, and she's a stripper. In real life, she's a stripper, right?
Oh.
So I meet her. So we're in the back seat. And she's got a thong, like a little thong on, no G-string, right? Got them big ass titties on my chest, right? So the director goes, "Here we're gonna do. We're gonna do one scene the way you want, and then the second scene we're gonna do it nice and kind of sensual." And I said, "Okay." So the first scene was the one I want to do it. And they go, "Action!" And man, she don't talk to me. I'm hitting on the ass like this. I'm like, I go, "What's my name? What's my motherfucking name?" Like the way I used to fuck in my 20s. I go, "What's my motherfucking name? What's my name?" She goes, JJ. Yeah. I go, yeah. And so they said, cut. And they said, hey, listen, we're catching her G-string in the shot. Do you mind if we cut it off? She goes, no, that's cool. And I go, huh?
Oh no.
So she's sitting on top of me, butt naked.
And all that's between you is a little tiny bit of fucking cloth.
And I'm just going, so even back then, though, even though I know what we're doing, even I was trying to be professional because I know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a fucking freak and everything, but I'm like, nah, it's professionalism, and so I go. You were trying not to have a hard on. You know what's funny is that those actors are true though. It's hard because you're trying to, no pun intended. It's hard because you're trying to listen to the director and everything else and trying to get the scene right. So you don't really have time to, really, really get into it. So her fucking titties on my chest. They cut it. So I feel her like, okay.
Uh,
And they go, okay, this scene I want to be nice and sensual. They go, action. And she's like, JJ, she's doing me like, right. So I go to suck her titty, right? And I go, and I kind of go, like this. And I kind of, and they go, cut. And she goes, you almost sucked my titty. I go, I know. I said, what would you have done if I would have done it? She goes, I would have just told you to stop. And I said, oh, but the spanking on the ass, that's okay? She goes, yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, I just want to know where you draw the line. That's all. True story. I'm putting handprints on her ass. I don't know her. I'm putting I meet her 10, 20 minutes before we go on set. I don't know her. I'm spanking her ass like we're really fucking, right? Nothing. But when I almost go to her nipple, she goes, she's
that
like,
was her. That was her.
Yeah.
That was the stripper version of Pretty Woman. Like,
yeah.
Kissing means something. So
yeah. Well,
if you suck on my titty, it means that I love you, and I can't have that. Like, that's such a weird fucking line to draw, especially when she consented to cutting her G-string off.
Yeah. It's kind of like when gang members pray. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And they have, especially like a Latino gang with like fucking Virgin Mary tattooed on his chest or something.
He's on their back and shit. And they decapitate somebody's fucking head. Shit,
I used to say I used to experiment with this bit, and it never really came to like fruition. I tried it a few times, but the concept was that what if tattoos actually become like our hieroglyphs? Like, so like later on, like archaeologists find this mass grave of like Mexican gangsters, and they're like, oh my God, this was a religious cult. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah, and I just couldn't
make it work.
Yeah, I just couldn't get it to where, that idea is obviously very funny in that line, but like I couldn't get to that line. No matter what I did, I couldn't get there.
I know. Don't you hate that? And you know what though? And here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna stay in there.
Oh yeah, it's gonna come out organically at some point, and it'll be like, oh, that's it,
and it's gonna work. You just got to go on stage, and maybe one of these days you'll be like, and that'd be the greatest feeling in the fucking world.
Oh, and that's comedy, man. I mean, I've talked about this to one of my favorite things that's happened for me in my career was I had a booker that had like almost a telemarketing business for booking comedy. I mean, this dude had, like, you walk in, I'm sure at some point in your life you interviewed or even did it, like had like a telemarketing job or interviewed for one, or kind of at least was in the room and saw the cubicles and saw the people making the phone calls and all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a pyramid scheme. Everybody's getting a little percentage of this and that,
Yeah.
So this dude had an office space, bunch of computers, phones,
right?
Brought people in, wrote them a script, had them cold calling bars and booking shows. And I was their favorite comic. They sent me into every room first. So I was getting these runs of, Wednesday through fucking Saturday of these one-nighters, and I could bring my own opener. So I brought this dude with me. His name's Tom Garland. And
I know Tom.
Yeah, I brought him with me. It was damn near a year or 2 years straight. And they ended up going out of business, which sucked because I made a lot of money with those guys.
Good for you.
But taking Tom on the road with me for that length of time, I actually learned through him how much better of a comic I was than I thought I was.
Yeah.
Because he was always trying to kind of go with famous dudes and find all these, and he was like, dude, I toured with so many guys that like cheated on their wives and were just like pieces of shit. And like, you're not that guy. And I thought all these guys were great because they had fame and all that. But he's like, I've seen you do every single type of show, whether it has to be crowd work, whether it has to be this or that. Because you know how it is, man. Especially those one-nighter runs, every audience dictates the way the show's going to go.
They're drinking, they got the game on.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like, can we turn the game off? Fuck you. All right.
All right. Yeah. But it's those moments where I distinctly remember this like it was yesterday because we had a huge conversation about it afterwards, and it had to do with kind of dealing with the crowd organically and stuff and hecklers, so to speak, or whatever. But I explained to him, like, if you just don't get mad right away that they're yelling shit at you and kind of listen to what they're saying, and then trust yourself that you have the tools in your head that something's going to spark in there.
Yeah.
So we're at this show in somewhere in Texas. It was near Dallas.
Okay.
And what I call these are goddamn Slumdog Millionaire moments.
Okay.
That's what I call it. Did you ever see that movie?
Oh yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
So you remember that moment where there's a question and they go back to standing on a fucking garbage pile and seeing the cover of this magazine, and that was the answer to the question?
Oh, I
was
don't remember
whatever
that
magazine was the answer.
I don't remember that.
And so I compare it to that because this guy, I was talking about trailer parks and whatever else, and this guy was like, well, you ain't seen my trailer. And all of a sudden, all these connections got made in my head because we were in Texas. I'm a Cowboy fan. My mom married my stepdad, and we moved to Dallas for a year when I was in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at that point, Dallas was all the rage. The soap opera, back when they like Knots Landing and fucking Dallas. Yeah, and they were on prime time with that shit back then. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was all the rage.
Mary Ellen.
And I didn't really know, my parents watched it and I thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
And because I was little, but I remember the atmosphere and I remember all those things. Who shot JR? All that stuff. That was fucking the big news at the time. That's what people were talking about, this fucking stupid show.
Yeah.
And so when that guy said that, knowing nothing other than those little tidbits, I was like, oh, what are you, the J.R. Ewing of the fucking trailer park? And I made the 3 Dallas references that I knew. I said something about shooting JR. I said something about fucking, that was it. And the crowd thought I was fucking brilliant and ate it alive. And afterwards, Tom's just like, what the fuck, dude? And I go, dude, I had 3 things I knew, and that was it. But what he said sparked him, and it made me look brilliant. So if you just fucking sit there and listen, and don't get pissed off,
yes, listen, and let the comedic and trust the process. Trust the process.
Because you were quick to begin with. You made people laugh around you at some point in your life just because of your magnanimous personality or whatever the fuck, and your quickness of wit.
Yeah,
and so. Yeah. I guess maybe one of the big keys to stand up and finding your voice is getting that same comfort level while you're on stage and there's 300 people looking at you.
Yeah, and trusting that train of that flow, that train of thought, that kind of like that. What do you call it? I'm trying to say that where it's just
stream of consciousness.
That's it. And you just start with that and trust yourself to go with it. And like, okay, I'm walking without a net here because sometimes. You make it like you're walking out of net, but you know what the joke is. But and I always tell people every now and then, if you know what the joke is, go beyond that. Like, okay, you tell a joke, pump, laugh. That's it. Go on, tell a joke, and then maybe ask a question even you didn't know was coming, and then walk out. Like, I know it sounds kind of nasty, but like last week, I asked this crowd. Well, I was curious. I'm not really that dirty now, but I was curious. I go,
you were never really that dirty.
I never.
I think that's one thing that you and I are kind of the same with is the jokes that we write really aren't dirty. Yeah. And we just cuss a little bit. But then if something happens, of course it is. But what I mean is like something organically happens in the crowd and all of a sudden you're talking about anal sex or something and you didn't mean to. You know what I mean?
But that's it. I was asking this married couple, I was curious. I go, because I was talking about how, you get older. I said, there's stuff I don't think you should do once you reach a certain age. Like, okay, that's not really cool anymore. Like, in a way, I'm not a prude, but I'm like, I think that part of me is over, like doing stuff. And I was like, as a married couple, I said, do you still finger your wife? I mean, like, why would you? But do you still finger your wife? Do you still finger her? I mean, why? I mean, you're married. So what's I don't know though. I've never been married, so like, do you still do it? And I wasn't trying to be dirty, but I was just curious. That and it's funny you say anal because I was like, and for some reason it did turn to anal sex, and I go, and I was like, I go, what was I forget the fuck where the joke was leading? Oh, because I was talking about how when I used to travel back in the day when I lived in LA and I had a girlfriend in the Midwest or whatever, I literally after 9/11, I literally remember having a special little bag that had all my sex toys in, and I remember the lady going, it was a black lady. She goes, "Hey, we need to look in your bag," and I was like, "Okay." Oh, and I swear to God, it went exactly like this. She pulls out his little whip I had. Then she pulls out these handcuffs. Then she pulls out some other thing. And then she pulled out these glow in the dark anal beads. and I go glow in the dark because you never know when you're gonna be, having anal
when you
sex.
can't find her asshole.
Well, it was during a thunderstorm and the lights go out and you go, "Hey, where's that ass again?" You gotta have the anal bead because hey, who has anal in the daytime? Seriously, what kind of monster has anal sex in the daytime?
Oh my God, I never even fucking thought about that, but you are 100% right.
Nobody wants to have anal in the daytime. That's
Especially because the chick has to be drunk most of the time, and that's not happening during the day.
Hey, and if she's not, then you got to really be worried. Like you want anal in the daytime. Tell me that wouldn't put the fear of God in you if a chick goes, "Let's do anal," and you go, "It's 2:30."
This is supposed to be just getting in and out real quick. It's 2:30.
Hey, there's some restaurants still in their lunch menu, and you want to have
lunch menu. That's such a perfect dude. That's so perfect. You could go. You could apply that to almost anything that requires indulgence. Be like, look, there's still restaurants on their lunch menu right now. Like,
there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, no. In fact, you know what? I'm not voting yet because there's still restaurants on their lunch menu. I think that voting is a dinner time thing.
Exactly.
So
that is a fucking after midnight, before 5 a.m. kind of fucking activity.
Oh yeah. That would be such a fucking great bit. Like a whole fucking just a whole list of shit that you don't do while restaurants are on their lunch menu.
Exactly.
That have nothing to do with going to the restaurant. Look, man. Look, I don't wrestle when restaurants are still on their lunch menu.
Hey, if that lunch menu's on, hey, I ain't doing it.
No motocross while you can get an Egg McMuffin. No.
When the dinner menu comes, that's when we get down.
Yeah. On Sunday, you know, you can do it a half hour later.
After 3. After 3. That's when the Cowboys kick off. After 3, then it's Katie bar the door. Pandora's box open. But before that,
You're a Cowboy fan too, aren't you?
Man, you know what? Yeah, I used to. It's like it's funny. I talked to
It's hard to even pay attention anymore.
No, yeah, you know what though? Now it's like it's a political thing with me now. It's like
The NFL, you mean?
Jerry Jones is the reason Colin Kaepernick's not playing. He's behind that. And
you think so?
I know he was. And
really? Because I fucking hate Jerry Jones, and that right there isn't one of the reasons that I hate him. And I didn't know that. It makes me hate him more if that's the truth, for sure.
Yeah, and he placed a gag order on him, so he wouldn't have to. So he can't talk about. When they basically paid Colin Kaepernick off. You know, they keep it hush hush, but part of that was he can't talk about, what happened and
the fact that Jerry Jones fucking spearheaded the thing.
Over and the reason they gave him that bullshit ass tryout last year, whatever, on that Tuesday, when everybody knows it's bullshit, was they were saving themselves from a lawsuit because he could have sued them, and then they say, okay, well, you get a tryout this Tuesday, and it's gonna be here, and everybody's like, man, come on, dude. I mean, And honestly, I just never looked at that shit the same. To me, it can be because it's the audacity of those motherfuckers for him to do that to Colin Kaepernick, and still he fucking hired Greg Hardy, who damn near could have killed the lady. That big motherfucker could have killed. He played in the UFC. He could have killed a fucking woman. He hires him. We go, hey, everybody deserves a second chance. Really? He does that shit, talks that shit, and he does that. And I just, and honestly, I just
or Des Bryant, who fucking punched his mom, or dude, you're right. I mean, Jerry Jones has done that over and over again. But you know what the key to that is? Now that I really think about it, it's those guys, despite what they did, he could get them to conform. He could get them to come in and act, at least towards him, the way he wanted them to act. Well, and Colin Kaepernick was throwing a rock at the entire institution.
Thank you.
And that's so much bigger.
Yes.
Than Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
That he knows, look, this is a threat to me. Those guys aren't a threat to him, because those guys, if they come in and help him win football games, nobody gives a fuck. But if Colin Kaepernick helps him win football games, there's still people out there going, oh, he's disrespecting the flag and the military. Yeah. As if the military owns the fucking flag.
But here's the thing that makes me so mad. People talk about that. You don't disrespect the flag. Okay, not even and I hate going down this road, but fuck it, real quick.
No, let's go, man. Let's go. I think we're on the same fucking team here, so we're good.
People say that shit. You disrespect the flag. You know what's disrespecting the flag to me? When they have a fucking parade and people take the Nazi flag and go down your fucking street, that's a disrespect to your fucking. They killed your grandpa. Colin Kaepernick didn't kill you. He didn't kill your family. He might kill your fantasy league by having He didn't kill your fucking grandpa. Those motherfuckers killed your fucking family. The fucking Nazis that we supposedly fought, and called them Krauts and all that shit. And you're gonna have somebody walk down the street with a Nazi flag on American soil, and you fucking do a Nazi salute on a fucking American soil, but that doesn't bother you. But a dude does a fucking peaceful protest who sits a fucking knee, doesn't say anything. Says knee and says for police brutality, not because of the flag. You know who disrespected the flag? Fucking the president when he disrespected John McCain, who took one for the team for his fucking people that were locked up. He could have walked away. Hey, sorry guys, my dad's in the military. I saw him. See ya. He came back for his people and was a prisoner of war. That's disrespecting the motherfucking flag. But for a football player to take a knee because of a cop. Point blank shoots a 12-year-old who has a toy gun, and they know he has a toy gun, and the cop didn't even give him a fucking chance, and he fucking come on, man.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. Not to mention you got a vest on and all this other stuff.
Vest, and they get a call. Hey, I think this kid has a toy gun. Could you go check it out? And he just comes out and pop, and now he's a cop.
So the call actually said, I think it's a toy.
Yeah, they said we're pretty sure it's a toy. I heard that.
Oh my fucking God! See,
they say I'm pretty sure the toy gun like that. But the thing about it is, if you watch that tape, the cop didn't give the kid a fucking chance.
No.
So Colin Kaepernick is protesting that. He's not saying you military guys are losers. He's not saying this and that. He's taking a knee because of fucking police brutality, and every fucking body knew. But they played that. Well, my brother served in the military. Well, my dad did this and that. Motherfucker, you ain't fucking listening.
Well, and also.
No offense to the military, no offense to them. But at the same time, the last time I checked, they were like, hey, you want me to jump? How high? They don't fucking, they take orders, basically is what I'm trying to say.
All I know is I've got two friends that are I consider them very good friends.
Yeah.
Two black guys that fought in Iraq.
Right.
That fought in Afghanistan. That fucking killed motherfuckers for this country and wake up in a cold sweat every fucking night because of it.
Yeah.
And they support Colin Kaepernick 100%.
You know why? They know, man. I mean, it's deeper than that, and they know.
It's so much deeper than that.
It's deep. And I honestly, I would say that people are being stupid, but I'll say this. Is that my roommate's white, and her stepdad, older white dude, and he comes, and it was like this week. That's why it's fresh in my mind. He said, BT, he goes, have you ever been pulled over by the cops for no reason? Have you ever messed with
fuck me, dude.
But no. But here's the thing, though. he was being. I could tell by I've known this guy for the last 7 years, and he's a sincere motherfucker. I could tell he was being like, have they ever messed with
He
you?
was actually being inquisitive.
No, he really was, and
He
so
wasn't trying to like create a narrative.
Yeah, so I know him, so and I was just like, and it was like bringing back memories, and I was like, and I didn't want to ruin a good fucking dinner by going, oh, let me tell you these motherfuckers. Yeah, so I was like, yeah. So I was like, yeah, and I was having to fucking like do this shit underneath the table, like, yeah, but it was great because he was telling me how the cops fucked with his step what was it, a stepdaughter, and so they pulled her over. And he rolled. He goes, Officer Kennedy. He goes, who are you? And he said, the way the cop yelled at him, he goes, he basically like, who the fuck you talking? So they fucked with him, and he goes, huh? And so he couldn't take it, and so he asked me how to go. I go, yeah, And I said, and he kind of saw what I went through, and I was like, a lot of time it is a power thing. A lot of it's a power thing.
Yeah.
And then you break it up into race sometimes, but a lot of it's a fucking power thing. Because I really thought that. If you were like a good-looking white girl, or what? I said a good-looking white girl, then you had another problem. Then I had fucking this girl tell me how cops try to rape her and all this shit, and it's a power thing, man.
I agree 100%. And actually, before you even got into that, I was getting ready to say this. I think the biggest problem we have with law enforcement in this country in general is the fact that we are brought up this way and they are taught this, that they are authority figures.
Yes.
But they're not. You are not an authority figure. You work for me. I pay your fucking salary with my taxes. You are a public servant. You are not an authority figure. So, yes, you are there for law and order. If some shit's going down, yeah, you're there to take control and make sure everything's fucking kosher. I get that. But you don't get to question me for walking down the street and doing nothing.
You can say that.
I am perfectly within my fucking rights to turn to you and go, fuck you. You don't get fuck you. You ain't shit. You don't get to tell me what to do. And as a white dude,
yeah,
I can do that and not fear for my life.
I know you can. I've seen it.
I can fucking turn to that dude and go, fuck you, motherfucker. And all they're ever going to do, I mean, for the most part, they might punch me or something and put a fucking goose egg on my head when they tackle me on the ground or whatever. Ain't nobody drawing a fucking gun because they're not threatened by me in general.
Yeah. Don't trust me. I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad you said that. And I'm glad you said that. That's great because I was about, but you said it all. Can't say anything more. Here, I tell you one quick story. I remember being in Chicago, and I was still wet behind the ears, thinking life is good, and Jesus was white. But I remember I was in a fucking bar in Chicago with my roommate at the time, and it was on the north side. And north side, like he didn't understand what I went.
Yeah, the north side's the white side. That's the Cubs side.
Lincoln Park. So we're at this bar and he's drinking, and I'm just like, so a fight breaks out. Two white guys fighting. The cop comes in and draws the gun on me. I'm the only black dude there, and I was just standing, like I wasn't saying like, yeah, get him. I was like watching, and he just comes in and he immediately takes his gun out and points it at me, and I was like, what the fuck? And I mean, and dude, this went on like I lived in Chicago like a year, and I can't take this anymore. And they used to fuck with me so much, man, and I never. And that was my first. I mean,
so that dude got a call that said, these dudes are fighting at the bar. He got a call about a disturbance, and he walked in the bar and assumed that you were a part of it.
But I wouldn't even like the fight's over there, and I'm just standing here, my buddy.
You're not even close to it.
I'm not even fucking like egging it on. I'm not saying anything. He comes in, sees me, and draws the gun and points it at me, and I'm like, all right, man. All right.
Without even taking the time to observe the situation.
Man, and I just knew instinctively.
Were you the only black guy in the bar?
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I only black guy in the bar in the 90s, 1990, when we really didn't have no fucking rights. They talk all that bullshit now. I mean, they try to make up for it now, but back then, but I just knew instinctively, don't make any sudden moves. Just sit there. I mean, and luckily, whatever. But man, I just remember like, you know what? I was so, and they don't people understand that shit happens on a regular. It just it
Mhm.
brings you down, man. It just fucking it beats you down.
I think for me, because it's so weird to say this when I'm talking to people that don't live here.
Yeah, yeah.
But because when you think of Iowa, you think of fucking. I mean, you're from Indianapolis, right? Like
I live here. Yeah, I live here.
But you did you grow? But where'd you grow up?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay,
Yeah.
well, fuck.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get into Black Wall Street or anything, but yeah. So yeah. but
You want to go
but
there?
anyway,
How they fucked us over there?
hey, I'm gonna be at the Looney Bin in Tulsa real soon.
Hey, actually, I am. I'm there next week. I swear to God, I'm there. I'm there next week.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
It is. I'm there next week. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So,
the biggest terrorist attack in U.S. history. It makes 9/11 look like fucking, like a like a bank robbery. The biggest terrorist attack in U.S. history was fucking Black Wall Street, and last year.
And you never fucking heard, dude. I can tell you 100% truth. Never heard a word about it until this past year. I didn't even know it fucking happened.
Sins of the father, brother.
And I went to, and that's what I was trying to say. And I think that, like I said, like people that don't live here don't know this, but I didn't grow up like in the hood.
Yeah.
I just went to school in the hood.
Yeah.
The hood is less than a mile from my house.
Yeah.
And it has over time kind of migrated a little bit north to where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
But I stay here. I love my neighborhood. I love my community, and I love my people. And my high school is the poorest high school in the state, and I do everything I can to help them and all that stuff. And I think that growing up that way, like right now, if I went to if I were a student at my alma mater right now, I would be a minority there.
Wow.
When I was in high school, we were looked at as being that school, but we were still, predominantly white as far as numbers go. But we were still the most diverse school around. So we didn't have any racial issues at my school. Every other school did. And what I realized was the reason we didn't, it was economical, because nobody at our school had any money. Everybody knew their shit stunk. And if you look at all the other schools around the city, and especially the suburbs, you have your haves and have-nots at those schools.
Yeah.
And that's where the major conflicts are. And unfortunately, the have-nots are usually the minorities.
Oh, yeah.
But in my school, the haves and have-nots did not see color. Like it was nothing but have-nots. That was it. Like I was in a better situation than most of the kids in my school because I didn't have to worry about my lights turning off. Like my dad and my stepdad both worked their asses off, paid their bills. My mom, my stepmom, they both, so like I couldn't wear name brand clothes to school or anything, but I didn't have to worry about eating or my lights getting turned off. A lot of the kids I went to school with did have to worry about that.
Yeah, man.
And those were my friends, and those are the people I hung out with. So
yeah,
I just have kind of a different perspective on it because I saw it firsthand. I saw how cops wouldn't fuck with me, but they would fuck with them. And and it's all based in fear. And it's because I've always said that I think cops should have to live in the neighborhoods they patrol.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because then they would know who's who, what they do, where they're going, and they wouldn't only be going into that neighborhood on its worst day. And most cops, when you got a 90% white police force, most of them, the only time they're in a minority neighborhood is for a conflict.
Yeah.
They've never been there every day. They've never lived there every day. So they don't understand that neighborhood during the day looks the exact same as yours does. Everybody's at fucking work. Ain't shit going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, you nailed it. I mean, you know. So when they're coming in for a conflict, it's like us going into Iraq or Afghanistan. You're on a foreign territory. Hey, I don't know you, pal. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I feel threatened, pal. But if you live there, you know, oh, that's just crazy, Ronnie.
That ain't shit.
Ronnie, put that goddamn monkey in.
Come on, man. You do that every day.
Yeah.
Ronnie, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
Ronnie. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I also think that there's certain cultural things that happen with a lower middle class community, and especially one that is you know, let's say you go to a block and the whole block is nothing but black people, right? There's a cultural thing right there where you see a lot of energy, you see a lot of passion.
Yes.
Yep. And if you're a fucking white dude that ain't ever been around that your whole life, that gets mistaken for rage.
Yeah.
Like, you can see two people having a conversation, banging on each other's chest. This is what I'm trying to tell you. And everybody's fucking nodding and like this and shit. And there's a dude fucking standing there terrified watching that.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, oh shit, dude, these guys are talking shit. This is fun.
And
like,
basically, it's like a Black Limp Bizkit concert, basically.
100%. Well, there is what brings that up for me is there was a video, right? You know, during when the BLM movement was really moving hard a few months ago, like right at the beginning of the pandemic and all that stuff, when the quote unquote riots were happening, all that shit.
Yeah.
There was a video somebody posted of 3 dudes. One of them was around, I think he was younger than me. I think he was like mid-30s, like 35-ish. And there's a 19-year-old kid. And then there was a guy that was probably 50s or 60s. And they're all standing there in the same circle. And this 35-year-old dude is preaching to this 19-year-old kid. He's like, man, there's a better way. He's like, look, this dude right here, how old are you? You know, he's like 60, whatever. He marched. I marched. I did this. We set buildings on fire. We broke windows, and ain't shit changed. So there's got to be a better way. And he's like, I know you're angry. And everybody in that set, all 3 of them, you know, they're nodding. You know, it looks like they're fucking gearing up to go do some shit. But that's not at all. It's the fucking conversation. It's a very passionate conversation. And for someone that looks at that and doesn't know what's going on, they think they're about to fight. They think they're about to fight. And there is no danger of them fighting whatsoever. None.
Yeah.
None. But that's what it looks like to someone.
Yeah. You nailed. I mean, fuck, like I said, you fucking nailed it, man. It's just, you know, it gets so frustrating. I mean, sometimes I just like, I go, fuck, I ain't even want to talk about it because it gets me in a bad mood. You know
dude, I had a similar conversation with Vince Morris on this podcast. Oh yeah. Oh my God, I fucking love that dude so much.
Oh, isn't he great?
Is he not the tag master of the world?
Yes.
Like the dude that will fucking watch your set and take one joke and make it money as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, dude. He gave me 2 tags to one joke that just took it to the next level.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, I fucking love him, dude.
Yeah, man.
His
act at one time, there was a time because you know we had a group together, whatever, and I mean, there was a time when Vince's act, and I stand on this, was the best act, tightest act that I've seen, counting the big name comics. The motherfucker he was tight as fuck, bro. At one time, every shit was boom, boom, boom. There was no wiggle room. It was fucking, I mean, man, that dude, yeah, man. Yeah, Vince is great. Hey, you know what? Hey,
I'll tell you
I'm going to see Reagan tonight, and I'm an hour ahead.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to see Reagan tonight. I'm an hour ahead of you.
So you about to bounce?
Yeah, man. Can we do a part 2? Because we're getting some good shit. I want to do a part 2.
I know. Let's do it. We will. But what time you got to get? You got to leave like now?
Soon. Real soon.
All right. So we should probably get to your first time story, but Now I can't even fucking remember where I was going with bringing up Vince.
We were talking about how it makes me angry to talk about. Like it's
Oh
fun.
yes, exactly.
Good time, but then when it
Yeah.
gets to that, and it, I love you. You're the guy that needs to talk to the cops. You're the guy that needs to go to the city council meeting. You're the guy that needs to go, hey, quit bullshitting. This is what you need to do. Because if I spoke, they don't listen to me. They don't listen to you.
Dude, Vince Morris said the exact same thing. That's exactly what I was getting ready to talk about, because I was telling him about the conversations, because I have friends that I grew up with. I mean, dude, we are thick as thieves. And I know there isn't a hateful bone in these dudes' bodies. And I know because we grew up the same. We went to the same school. And so that whole treat people as individuals thing, it's a real thing with them. Yeah, they aren't racist on any level, but they're scared because they feel like if they treat a black dude as an individual who's just being an asshole, they're going to be construed as racist. Yeah. And I'm like,
I feel him on that.
And I'm like, dude, I get that. I get it. But you don't get to be mad about it, bro. That's the sins of our fathers, man. That's what we're dealing with. And what we need to do is understand. Just fucking sit back and understand. Don't call your one black friend and ask them how you're supposed to react as if they speak for all black people. The most racist thing you can do is think that all black people think alike.
Yeah.
It's fucking... I mean, do you think you and I don't think alike? No. So why aren't our opinions fucking inherently white? That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, like I don't really have anything to say because all I do is piggybacking on you. I mean, hey, I feel like we're in court and you're my lawyer and I'm going, God damn, this is good. I ain't gonna do no time. This motherfucker, you know what I mean? I'm like, this motherfucker's good.
Dude, you gotta Venmo my fucking retainer real quick.
Hey, real talk. One time, I was in Peoria, Illinois, in a courtroom, and I hired this attorney, right?
Why? Okay, first of all, why?
It was traffic shit, right?
Okay.
So like, I had no license, and he pulled me over, and yeah. So I mean,
this guy, he's black. He probably didn't have a license.
No. It's one of those things where I deserve to get pulled over. I mean, I was in the wrong, but this dude was so good that I was getting out, and it was funny because the dude behind me, his court case come up. He goes, and something happened. He goes, hey man, is he any good? And I go, this motherfucker here. I go, I'm supposed to be doing time right now. He gonna get me off. He go, word. I go, word.
Did he give you a discount?
Oh, let me give me a discount. But the dude, his court case is up next. He go, he said, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. Yeah, you should.
In the courtroom. I'm gonna hire a lawyer now.
That dude was good.
I only had this court date, I got it in the mail like a month ago, and I just decided today.
Yeah.
Well, I'm standing behind BT to fucking hire his lawyer.
Hey, dude was good though. He was that good.
I'm sure he was, but you know what the other part of that is? Let's not fucking bullshit. Yeah. That dude right there didn't want to pay anybody to do anything. So he was sitting back there behind you going, I'm going to get this dude. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to hire you, but you got to do this right now. And then as soon as that was over, he didn't pay him shit. He fucking left the tag on his jeans and fucking took them back. That's what he did.
Exactly, man. It was good, brother. It was good.
All right, let's get your first time story because you got to go. So Regan's there right now?
Regan's there right now. So, yeah.
Where is he at Crackers?
No, he's at Helium. We got a Helium now. We're all big time. We got a Helium.
Is that what used to be the other one in the mall or whatever?
It's a whole different. It's down.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's a high end club. They get nothing but heavy hitters, bro. Nothing but heavy hitters. So it's a good club. It's a great club.
Yeah, well, I know Heliums have opened in other cities and they're doing great. And
Portland.
I got to find a way to get into that shit,
dude. Yeah, I mean, I featured for Big J Okerson. And it was worth it. That dude was fucking great just to watch him.
Dude, that's so funny that you brought his name up because I thought of him when we were talking about the fear and the racism and all that stuff. Because he has this great bit about white people being scared of black people.
Yes, he's fucking dude.
And he's like, that's so fucking right on. Because he's like, yeah, it's fucking fun. I mean, fucking black dudes be like,
he's fucking great, isn't he? He's great.
Oh,
Man.
yeah. All right. Where's your first time story? Let me have it.
I think the first, I had a couple, but the one I remember the most, I don't know why, but it's like, I remember Alicia Henson was my first crush, and she's the one that made me have butterflies.
This is just a girl in your life?
My dad worked with her dad.
Why are you bringing up first and last names? Are you hoping she fucking finds you? Kind of secretly in the back of your mind, like BT, the fucking player, the stacked up fucking. I'm gonna fuck this bitch in the back seat, dude. He's got a little soft spot for so and so, and he's just kind of hoping.
Well, she's 54, 55, 56 now, so not really. Nah,
my body still looks like Wesley Snipes. I'm fucking 30-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that was when I was like fucking 8. You know what I mean?
Can you believe you're at a point in your life where you're like, I'm a fuck a 30-year-old, bro?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, hey.
Yeah, I'm robbing the cradle, bro.
I got my WARP card. I'm gonna use to buy these condoms and fuck this 30-year-old.
Oh, you're too old for that shit. It's skin to skin or don't go in at this point.
Skin, and go in like this.
I told you if I looked like you, I'd have fucking AIDS, bro. I would have had AIDS 10 years ago.
You'd be like Magic Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would have injected money into my veins.
Yeah. Nobody talks about he's a modern day walking miracle. How that
nobody says a word.
Nobody
Isn't that amazing?
Says a word that he's a fucking medical miracle. And he was like, well, like really?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know why nobody says a word? Because he injected money into his fucking veins. That South Park episode was one of the most brilliant ever.
All their shit is so spot on.
Oh, it always is. Yeah.
All their shit. But
all right, let's talk about this crush of yours.
It was Alicia Henson, and I had like butterflies, and I thought she was special. And we went to my buddy Darren Smith had a party, and Lewis, I don't know what Lewis's last name was. This motherfucker had like his missing front teeth.
How old are you? How old were you at this point?
I had to be 3rd, 4th grade, so probably 8 years old.
Oh, so this is like somebody's like birthday party.
Yeah, you go over people's house. You don't party like
that
kind of party. It's like a real party.
Yeah, well, we got to set the stage properly. Yeah. We got listeners.
Yeah, we had cake and back in the good old days, we had actually cake, that buttercream frosting at like 45,000 calories of fucking
anyway. We give a fuck.
Yeah. Well,
back when you're like, hey, I want I remember one of my friends had a Star Wars cake and I was like, I want the lightsaber on my piece.
Did he get it?
Fuck no. The bitch rolled her eyes and was like, whatever, fucking here. I don't blame her though.
That's fucking great.
I fucking remember that eye roll too. I was like 7.
You always remember shit like that.
Yeah.
What you do though. You remember shit.
That's comics. I think that's our DNA. I think we are so uber self-aware that we try to not be.
Yeah. You're fucking nailing it, brother. Yeah, it's true though. It's true.
Yeah, but go ahead. So,
and I was like, she was at Darren Smith's party, and I was like, Alicia's here, and I was like enamored. But Lewis, this motherfucker had no fronts. I don't know if he played hockey when he was 8 years old, but he had no fronts. And fucking, he would grab her and fucking just kiss her, and she kissed him back in front of me. And I was like, and that shit that was my first heartbreak. I was like, really, Alicia? Lewis? This no-tooth motherfucker? And I like Lewis, but that was my girl in my mind.
You're saying no-tooth motherfucker about an 8-year-old that probably just lost him.
I didn't know that at the time, but I was like,
I know.
I was planning a future with
her. I
her.
had to feel superior in some way, shape, or form.
I was planning my future with this bitch, and he was not. And I was like, man, I was hurt. That was my first heartbreak, bro. I was like in 3rd grade. I love Alicia Henson. If I saw that bitch, I was like, I mean, my heart was like, ha. I mean, she made my fucking heart feel flatter. And when Lewis did that shit, man, I just my heart sunk and broke. And there was no rage, but I was like, my mom picked me up and I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And she was like, what's wrong? Nothing. And I was like, that shit hurt.
Nothing.
Yeah, fucking.
So where did it go from there? Like that, from that moment, nothing happened in that moment. Nothing.
It never went, and my heart was sunk. It was my first heartbreak, my first crush, my first heartbreak. And I remember that I was like, I was hurt, bro. I mean, like deep. I still to this day think about that shit because Alicia made my heart flutter flatter. And then,
have you?
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you in your adult life since then, obviously, but your adult life, have you felt that way about anyone ever again? And like even for a minute?
My heart, like ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a dork when it comes to that. I'm still a dork. Like, if I see a girl, like, hug, I literally do this. Even to this day, I see a girl, like, God, please let this girl like me. And then, like, you know, if I end up talking to her, like, I go realize, oh, she like, God, cancel that order, please, cancel that order. You know, seriously, I still do. I'm still a dork like that. And it's funny because I'll just tell somebody this, okay? Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion in Formula One. You know, holds the most victories, the baddest motherfucker on the planet as a race car driver. They have a video on him on Instagram. He's doing a fucking presser, and he says to Max Verstappen, the other filmer, he goes, "There's so many girls here," and he says it like with that youthful exuberance. He's a 7-time world champion. He goes, "Man, there's a lot of girls in this press conference." Like he was like, "Pussy," you know what I mean? It never leaves you, bro. It never fucking leaves. But that's good. It lets you know you're alive. But that's good. You know, so I still to this day have that. I don't know when the last time I've had that as far as like,
well, you've never been married or anything, right?
But I had this. But there's this one chick when I first went to Indianapolis in 2006. I walked into the gym, and I saw this girl on the treadmill, and I go, and I had that feeling. And this girl, she never liked me, but she's always been cool. I don't know if she knew I liked her, but she's always been nice. She stops. She talks to me. We talk in a good manner. She even like one time she drove me to my apartment. I had to get something, and like a creeper, I go, "Hey, you want to come in?" She goes, "No." I go, "Okay." And so I went and got my came out.
And that was the end. You never said another fucking word.
But no. But one time she was working like at the tanning booth next to the gym, and I walk. I said, "Hey, Steph, what's going on?" I go, "Hey, I'm going to McDonald's. You want anything to eat?" She goes, "Could you pick me up somewhere?" And I did it. And look on her face is like, "You actually did it?" I go, "Yeah, you asked me to." And I thought that was my end, and it never was. And so to this day, whenever I'm cocky, she works at my gym now, the new gym I go to. And every time I see her, she reminds me of, yeah, you ain't shit, because she'll stop and talk to me, and she's sincere, and we'll like that, and she'll go on and to this day,
because she's like, I'm at fucking work.
No, she don't work there. She don't work this gym. She works someplace else. But she'll stop and talk to me. But I don't know.
So you see her, she's working out as well. Then when you see her,
she's working out. She's working out. And I don't know if she ever knew that I liked her like that. But when I see her,
why didn't you shoot your fucking shot, dude? What the fuck?
I kind of did. Like I think I found her on. This how long ago this was. It's on MySpace. I think I followed her on MySpace. And I never Facebooked her, and I think she was seeing somebody, and then she got pregnant by the dude at the gym, and they were going through some shit, and it never got around to that, because I saw her so sparingly, and never got around to that. And every time I see her, I go, fucking Stephanie never fucking liked me like that. And it's funny because like I see, and even to this day, last week I had my workout mask, right? It's like this. I look like Bane and shit when I work out.
I'm gonna fucking bench press 300 pounds right now.
So I see her and I go, and I was working hard, and I see her. I did the old, like, I'm so busy working, I can't talk to her. Oh, hey, Steph. Although I saw her the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
I go like this. She was on the stair mask with my mask on like that, and she went like this, and I go, oh, and I fucking walked out. As a 52-year-old motherfucker.
What the fuck's wrong with you, dude?
Man. I mean, you know what?
Is she young as fuck? Is that the problem?
So what now?
Is she really young? Is that the problem?
No, I guess she's around. I mean, she's younger, but you know me, creep. But it's like, hey, you just gotta know. Like, I don't think.
Fuck you. You're 10 years older than me, and you look 100 times better. Don't give me that shit. Yeah, I feel real sorry for your fucking not cracking ass.
Yeah, man. So she keeps me grounded. That girl keeps me grounded. Yeah, but you never know. One of these days, I would love to catch her like just at a moment of weakness. I mean, I'll say it right now. I will fucking pray on that shit like a Wild Kingdom episode. I'll see her, like, you know what? If I ever catch her out and she's drunk, I go, Steph, and she's like, Pete, and man, dude,
that's just happening,
dude. I mean, Marlon Perkins, that was his name. Like, oh my God, the gazelle is in trouble. The Black Panther. Raw, man. Dude, yeah. I mean, yeah.
You know the worst part of that though?
What?
The worst part of that philosophy?
What?
It's the fucking female lion that's doing that hunting.
You would have to ruin it for me, bro. You would have to ruin it for me.
There's no fucking mane involved. That's a fucking bitch taking down a bitch. Fuck you.
No, I know.
You're supposed to be sitting back with the mane, like, yeah, yep, they're fighting over me.
Right? Corn. Hey, a cornrowed mane. You know, you know.
Yeah.
Right? But it is what it is.
I think that I think maybe that's my next move. I think I grow this out like Bozo.
Do that.
And then just cornrow it.
Yeah.
And then nothing here.
And do the goatee down too, and kind of do that little thing like that. Motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Dude, yeah. One of my best friends has that shit going on.
Do that.
It's so funny. Do you know Tracy Ashley?
Black girl from Indiana?
From Minneapolis. Yeah. She writes on The Last OG and The Neighborhood. Yeah.
She got a white husband who's a football coach.
Yeah. Yeah. She me and her were doing this. I mean, we had worked together a couple of times, but she called me specifically to open for her at this college gig like years and years ago.
Right.
And we're leaving, and she's just like, Bill, it's the beard, man. You gotta shave the beard. Your beard just makes you too intimidating. You gotta shave the beard. And that's what Paul used to tell me all the time. Dude, shave the beard. Just try it. And I'm like, no, fuck that.
Be who the fuck you are, bro.
Yeah.
Be who the fuck you are. Don't nobody tell you what the fuck to do. Unless for a movie, you're making millions of dollars. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Seriously. Man, seriously.
No, that's, being who I am is why I'm alone right now.
Hey, me and you both, brother. Hey, but fuck it, man. Fuck it is what a motherfucking is. You know?
Of course. And you know what? One of my favorite things about you, and I hope that at some point we get to do this privately and just hang out and really talk, because one of the biggest reasons you're one of my most favorite people is I don't know another person on planet Earth that is happy alone like you are.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I mean, you have just I wish I could have the peace that I can just tell that you have. I mean, I watch you, we didn't really get into your obsession with motocross and all that stuff. And that's what I was kind of referencing in the beginning. I mean, you are ingrained into that culture, and those people know you. I mean, these dudes in fucking Paris know who fucking BT is. And that's crazy to me to think about,
Yeah, man.
And so when we do a part 2, we're going to get into that a little more. But that is such a great example to me of a person that is so at peace with who they are and so just happy with who they are. And it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's almost like you have gone through 10 years, 20 years of fucking therapy and just figured it out. But I just feel like you're just very secure with who you are. And I always was too. And I came to this moment in my life now in my 40s where I'm not so secure with that anymore. And I'm trying to find that again.
Really?
So like you're a person that, well, yeah, I mean, I just, my marriage just ended, months ago.
Okay.
And, so there's all those things that make me question all the decisions I've been making for the last 20 years and, all that stuff. And I look at a guy like you and I'm like, man, I wish I could find that peace somewhere. No. And I know I will because I'm pursuing it. But
there you go. Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no timetable. There's no like moment that you're, it's not like playing a sport where you're like, okay, if I can get to where I'm ahead in the 9th inning, I'm cool or whatever. It's not like that. This is life. Like
life is life, bro.
And you have just found a way. Like I said before, man, I hope you know how much I adore you, and I hope you know how much I love you, because you have just been such a fucking ray of light in this business to me. You're one of the people that I think about when I'm feeling down and I'm like, man, I need to be more positive about this. And like you're always in my mind somewhere when it comes to that stuff, because I just envy. It's like you have this peace of mind with comedy that religious people have with their religion.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I envy that peace of mind.
Yeah. Hey, man, just
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're just as fucking insecure as me at the end of the day. But
to Stephanie, I am.
Yeah, fucking Stephanie.
To that girl at the gym. Yeah, you never know. You know,
dude. I'm flying down to Indy tomorrow. I'm gonna find that bitch. And I'm gonna be like, you don't even know.
You don't know. He's
matchmaker, make me a match.
Yeah, dude, I gotta go, bro.
All right, I love you, brother. Have fun with Regan.
Let's fucking hit me up with an email and tell me we don't do it again, because I would love to.
We will for sure. Go.
You know, I'll do that. I found out Regan was in town, and I said I gotta go now because I know.
No, I got you, man. Going forward, it's gonna be Monday nights. I got Chad Daniels next Monday. The Monday coming up, I got Chad Daniels, but after that, it's gonna be Monday nights going forward, like midnight, like 7:30, 8 o'clock ish on Mondays from now on. So
if you can get a later Monday night, because this is how Indy is. I have to drive to Louisville, take acting classes, so I get back around 11.
Why the fuck are you taking acting classes, dude? You don't need classes. That's what I want to do
from the beginning. But anyway, we'll get.
I know, but you don't need classes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you do.
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, you do. Trust me, I do.
No, I'm saying you don't. I'm not saying I don't. I'm saying you don't. Just be fucking BT, bro.
Well, thank you, brother. Hey,
I love you, brother. I'll see you soon.
Let's get a date, and I mean that. We'll do a part 2, motherfucker. Let's do that.
Yeah, we got to get into Kaepernick more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's get me pissed off. Yeah, that's good. Let's do that. All right, brother. All right, man.
All right, love you, man.
Hey, man, thank you, brother. I mean that. Thank you.
Every single time. I love you. Peace.
Okay, love you, buddy.